Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today video we are going to talk about AWS sucks. So why I am saying AWS suck is because I had gone through a lot of problem when I uh, doing or deploying application or when I'm exploring this AWS. So as a beginner, this is I'm share with you as a beginner how difficult it is, and that is whatever the experience I taken when I exploring this AWS. Those things I'm going to share through in this video. So first of all, what is AWS? AWS basically stand for Amazon Web Service. So that is powered by Amazon. So using this AWS, they offering array of service like computing and basically what you can say databases, and you can develop IoT applications, machine learnings, and a lot of things they providing to us serverless, everything you maybe heard about those things, right? So those are the service they are offering through this AWS basically. It's I mentioned here just a few of them, but actually they offering a lot of services. So as a beginner, right? So I'm a beginner, I'm not a big expert in this area. This is basically a cloud platform. You know what, if you are individual or if you are companies, basically most of the companies are using this AWS. Everyone are moving to these cloud platforms. So this is one kind of a platform. AWS also one of them, and likewise there's a lot of platforms available like AWS is a one platform. Microsoft Azure is there, and Google Cloud is there. Likewise there's several things, but these are a few of giant companies, right? So why I'm telling this AWS is because last time I have start to deploy one of the application which I have developed to Elastic Beanstalk. So Elastic Beanstalk stock is one kind of a service. You can basically you can develop whatever the things you are develop or whatever the application you develop, you can deploy it to Elastic Beanstalk. So after creating environment and the policies and all, so say maybe you'll get confused. It's okay. So first I will tell you first of all. So once you create environment and the policies and all, so I have deployed my application. So I get custom URL for me. So I can, using that particular URL, I can access my deployed application, right? So then I have noticed one thing. So they providing a link or deployed URL. So that URL is not secure. They providing a link with the deployed URL without SSL. So that is one thing. So SSL is socket secure socket layer. So basically it's coming when you are accessing your URL, it's coming with the lock symbol, green color lock symbol. So that is not there. That is basically HTTPS is not there. So they giving a deploy URL with only HTTP, right? So I have gone through their official documentation. I just end up with frustration. So that's what the truth is. So because I'm using a free tier of this AWS platform, so it's basically AWS platform, some of the you can, if you want to explore the AWS, you can use this free tier, and you can explore about these AWS services. So these couple of days I have basically I have exploring this AWS Amazon Web Service, and there are some of the service like S3 buckets, and what you can say this Elastic Beanstalk, and likewise these are the few things I'm trying. And yes, previously I have tried this AWS S3 bucket, but I don't have any idea, but somehow I implemented. That's what the truth is. Somehow, because I referring in internet many resources, links, and also somehow I whatever things I want for my application, I have did well. But the thing is, if you want to get more knowledge about these AWS and their services, you definitely need to know very well. So these days I try to understand the things, how it's work, and under the hood how we can do, and a lot of things, right? So then I realized AWS documentation is really sucks, because they're mentioning something and I end up with something. So if you are familiar with familiar with Elastic Beanstalk, you know that uh, if there is no way to make this to HTTPS unless if you have a custom domain, right? So you need to purchase custom domain. That is one thing. So let's say, for example, if you don't want to buy any domain and all, so in this time what you need to do is, they saying in the documentation, they mentioning like there's options to do that. So that is if you are using a single instance, and you can use this load balancer, and you can make it HTTPS, so that is then become what you can say, a secure way. But the problem is, I'm using free tier. So in free tier, I'm using a single instance, but I don't have any load balancer in my case. So in this time, in the documentation, I have read several things, but I couldn't found a single helpful URL. So this is make me a frustration here. So I searched these things in the internet, but I couldn't found any kind of a result. So finally I have put this problem in my Facebook. So in a Facebook, there are so many technical people in my connection, so I just put that as the poster. So I got a one reply say, you definitely need one kind of a domain. So based on that domain, you can have to install this SSL, and you need to what we can say, we need to update using host zone, right? So he provide the answer in the comment section. So he said there's no way to do that, because I'm using a free tier. There are no options to make these as SSL and HTTPS. So in the what you can say, in the deployed URL that is provided by AWS, that is also not customizable. So there's no configuration we can make to that particular URL. So in this case, we definitely need to go with a custom domain, and we need to purchase a custom domain, and we need to install SSL certifications. We need to install that SSL certificate for this particular domain. So through this Amazon Web Service, there's a one service they're offering, AWS Certification Manager. So that section you can create free certification for SSL. So that is completely free. But I not did that much of a thing, because this is giving me really frustration. So what I did is, I just bought a different domain from the different service provider, Namecheap, and whatever the things I have purchased, I just point to a name server, which is after creating host zone in the AWS Amazon Web Service. So whatever the name service they're providing, I just point out to this what you can say, that particular Namecheap domain where I can bought. So I just update. It took me 24 hours to update. So after that I found, so I can access that particular domain, but the thing is, that domain is still not SSL or secure, HTTP, not HTTPS. So what I have after did is, I use this cloud, what you can say, this Cloudflare. So if you don't know about the Cloudflare is basically, so it's a kind of a global network built for the cloud. So Cloudflare is a global network designed to make everything you connect the internet secure, private, fast, and reliable. So that is the service I taken for making this secure way. So what I have did is, I just create account from the Cloudflare, and after that I just point to that particular domain to Cloudflare, and with the Cloudflare provided name server to the domain. So after that, in the Cloudflare, I have taken the host zone in the AWS host zone records, the name servers, and just point into this Cloudflare name service. So this is working fine right now, so I can see the HTTP as and a secure way. But the problem is this took me couple of days to find out and figure it out how to do this stuff. So this is what I feel like AWS sucks. This is I just creating this video based on my experience and just sharing with you whatever the problem as a beginner you will face. So that is the main purpose of this video. So you know what, basically if you are coming to this AWS at the very first time, you will heard about these IAM user and the group policies, S3, right, and EC2. These are the kind of terminology you will get heard at the very beginning, right? So this is basically, if you want, these are the few things. But if you want to create any kind of a service like S3 bucket, let's say it's a storage bucket. So if you have any kind of files, or if you have any related to anything, you can store that on your S3 bucket. So that kind of a one service providing Amazon free tier up to certain capacity they providing for free. But after that, if it is get exceed, you need to pay definitely, right? So that service is offering by AWS. So if you want to make it some access stuff like access management, if you want to read or if you want to write, so you need to create access policies and all. So this is a kind of a weird thing I always having. So at the very first time I had this kind of a problem. So creating the S3 bucket policy is really make me annoying because I don't know anything about this AWS S3 policies. So what I have did is basically, you know what, so there's a few ways to do. So if you have troubling in the problem, right, so you can search it in the internet and you can find out many links, because you definitely need to go through a lot of links and you need to understand properly and how to create the policies and how to make it publicly available and readable, this particular stored or uploaded files. So those things you need to create IAM user and the group policy and lot of things. Definitely it's really, for me it's really overwhelming when I was reading this stuff and all. But right now I'm saying it's okay. But the thing is, as a beginner, if you're coming, it's really problem. You know what, all the expert developers at the very first time, they all are beginners. So when they are practicing day by day and daily, right, so they become experts. So they know how to handle more stuff than the beginners. So they up to date their knowledge day by day, so daily, right? So now I know a few of them, but I'm saying I'm not an expert, but I have a certain level of understand how this AWS are working, like creating a policies and how to use some services. Even if I am in the trouble, I know I have a ability to come over from that problem. So yeah, so I hope this video helpful. So if you are a beginner or trying to explore, you can use this free tier. So free tier is available. So first when you are going first time, when you go to AWS, if you want to register as a new user, you definitely need you to use your debit card, and first a small amount will be get deducted. So that is I'm not remember how much it is, but it's anyway small amount, it will get reduced from your bank account. So it's okay, fine. After that, free tiers, under the free tiers, they offering many free what you can say services. You can explore those things with for your knowledge exploration purpose. So I know this what you can say, the dissatisfaction is vary with the person to person. So I have faced this kind of a problem, so that's why I'm creating this video. So, and also especially I definitely want to talk about this AWS, the pricing. So AWS pricing is really sometimes can't understand, they not mention properly how much definitely we need to pay. There's no specific amount they mention in the documentation, this much of amount you need to pay for this service. So this kind of problem also I'm looking as a problem. Yes guys, we are right now in the end of the video. Just quickly recap. So first thing is, I use this Elastic Beanstalk. They're not providing HTTP. Instead of that, they only providing HTTP. Second thing is, so documentation is not properly mentioned many things. As a free users, we don't have anything to see, and they mention everything for a paid users, but as a free tier users, you definitely get confused when you are reading a documentation. That is problem number 2. Third one is what? The pricing problem. The pricing problem, they not mention all the price properly, and they don't have specifically mention this kind of a service will cost this much of amount. These are the 3 problems I saw in the AWS. I hope I covered everything. So then guys, I will catch you on new video.